Heh, I'm Minecrafting it so good.
Hi, it's me, Pursuer Momoa. I am Cleve, Flint and Stalk.
I'm going to kill myself. I, as many others have gotten bored of Minecraft. Turns out playing the same game for 12 years of your life produces a little bit of burnout. There are thousands of video essays of people rambling on about their changes to fix the game. I've seen a lot of people just suggesting Minecraft to turn into Terraria and add hours of progression. I have a bit of a different take. I think Minecraft's core survival loop could be improved significantly. Survival is the core part of the game, yet it doesn't really feel like survival. Modern Minecraft is introducing more and more RPG and realism elements instead of it focusing on any sort of the core loop changes. I think I have some ideas on how the core loop of Minecraft could be expanded, and that starts with the core idea of this video. Infinite solution. Let's just make this the subtitle of the theoretical update that this would be. Minecraft, at its core, is about creativity. I think the best way to emphasize this is to lean more into the infinite solutions aspect of the game. I think Minecraft survival mode would be at its best by constantly giving the player new problems to solve, each with a very open-ended solution. Huge horde of zombies outside your house? You can camp inside, risk going outside the fight, or build a TNT cannon to explode them all. Not enough stone for your house? Build a cobblestone generator, go mining, or find some mob that drops it for you. Stuck in a field with tons of mobs surrounding you? Build up and make a temporary sky base to shoot at them with, light some TNT to blow them up, or fight them off with pure PvE skill. All of my suggestions will be made to encourage this aspect of the game. PvE base raiding! Woo! Imagine finding a castle somewhere that you know has to have good loot inside of it. How will you find that loot? You could instantly rush inside and beat up any guard in your sight with sick combat and eventually find it. You can make a stealthy approach by building on top of the castle and mining your way inside. You can even build a TNT cannon to blow out the walls and then send an army of 600 dogs inside to kill everyone. Minecraft's sandbox gameplay style allows for base raiding to be an incredibly unique strategic experience, which is why I think it should be a larger focus. I feel like nether fortresses, woodland mansions, and the ender dragon fight get pretty close to this ideal, but I'd honestly prefer the mechanic be a bit more expanded on, because those are pretty short and don't offer much reward. Adding this would also directly encourage exploration. Seeking out new challenges to conquer would add a reason to explore outside of finding a new wood color. You also could add a bit more surprise to the system by iterating more on Minecraft's randomly generated dungeons. When was the last time you explored a stronghold underground for loot? Yeah, probably never. This would add so much more purpose to Minecraft's gameplay and allow you to engage with the strategic parts of the game even more. Horde combat! Woo! Horde combat is what I think the modern combat system's main strength is. As I mentioned previously, there's near infinite solutions to any fight using the tools the game provides. To encourage this further, I would personally make a few changes to mobs that go against the slow-paced horde combat. Here's an order list of said changes. Remove baby zombies. Make skeleton arrows slower so that they're easier to dodge and to strategize around. Make faster mobs slower and easier to take in large numbers. There's also a few things the player has at their disposal that I think go against this. Let's list those too. Elytras. That I lied. I'm not listing anything else. It's just elytras. I should mention that it's important enemies in Minecraft stay slow. It gives openings for the player to make moves and strategies. Zombies make for good pressure, and skeletons are usually an immediate target because of their vantage point. So in combat, you end up going down a chain of priority targets. I also think more of the unique combat methods such as tridents and maces should be made more accessible. This would allow for people to pick and choose what kind of items they like to form a proper playstyle that fits their preferred strategy. They should also be a bit more balanced to compensate. Maybe the trident should be as slow as axes to compensate for its high damage and being throwable. I would also either nerf shields or make dual-wielding weapons a thing. Shields are way too broken as the meta, so I think side grades like dual wielding would help mix things up. Also, splash potions and regular potions should be stackable so they can be bigger parts of combat. They're really fun to play around with, so I think it would add a lot if they were stackable. Lastly, I think a stagger mechanic would be great. Essentially, you can cancel attacks of certain mobs like creepers and skeletons by critting them. This will let you juggle huge hordes with just pure skill. I would also make splash potions stagger wherever you hit them with, so water splash potions have a bigger use. I feel like the Rebirth of the Night mod pack does horde combat exceptionally well. It has a lot of features I mentioned like staggers and dual wielding, as well as a ton of combat depth. The only thing I don't really like with it is the super fast mobs that can shred you easily. Those suck to deal with. Base defense! I feel like more base defense aspects would also help make the game more engaging. As mentioned previously, enemy hordes would generally be a larger focus, but also maybe there could be some sort of optional event where you need to defend a base from attackers trying to get to the center. This would add some gameplay use to redstone as well, instead of farming, since you'd be able to create tons of cool and unique traps that normally only get used on other players. Again, this would add tons of strategy to Minecraft and make it more mechanically engaging. Oh fuck, he's talking about grinding. Fuck. This is the part where I talk about progression. Of course, I gotta address the elephant in the room first. In my Danny's World video, I called Minecraft Progressionslop, and I think that statement was made in a bit of bad faith. Still, I think Minecraft's progression could be criticized a bit, and I'll go into that now. Minecraft has a lot of really cool items that are hard to obtain in vanilla survival. Tridents, skulk sensors, and many other items that would add more options to the pool of solutions are just really inconvenient to obtain. Ideally, every item should be pretty consistent to get without building a farm to grind for it. I also think the netherite tier of items should either be outright removed or turned into a side grade. If netherite is kept, it should be easier to find ancient debris too. I also think the realistic ore generation should be reworked, as it's just stupid. Ideally, the deeper you go, the harder it gets, and the harder it gets, the more rewards you can find. Minecraft used to have a system like this, however now all the ores are spaced out, so you can't just go in one mine to find everything you need. You need to go up and down different layers to get different materials. This just adds needless backtracking to mining. Alright, here's some miscellaneous things not really related to the infinite solutions idea that I'd like to be changed. Hunger is kinda dumb, and I personally think it goes against Minecraft's core loop a little bit. I'm not sure how it would work it though. TNT should be made more accessible since it makes mining super fun. Maybe make sulfur deposits underground alongside sand and gravel veins. I think phantoms should be either outright removed or changed so that they don't punish you for not sleeping. Oh, and speaking of sleeping, beds should have some sort of downside. Maybe bringing back the nightmare mechanic where whenever you go to sleep, you risk a mob spawning in your base. I feel like a lot of my issues with Minecraft stem from the fact that it is meant to be a game for everyone. It's literally the highest sold game ever. They can't afford to take any risk that would alienate the player base. I think this is where a lot of Minecraft's core issues stem from, and will continue to stem from as each update introduces more and more bloat. The only real hope for Minecraft at this point is for the modders to pick up the pieces and fix it themselves. Because of this, I'd like to showcase some mods that I genuinely enjoyed that I feel fixed some of my issues with the game. As in, I'm gonna talk about Rebirth of the Night, fuck you. Rebirth of the Night is a really cool mod pack. It's focused around base defense and overall being a more hardcore experience, and I honestly have loved it a lot. I think Rebirth of the Night fixes what I hate most about progression in a lot of packs, where your progression rewards you with more progression options, instead of rewarding you with making you able to take on challenges easier. Rebirth of the Night also made it feel like I was building with a purpose. The houses I built had more intention than my usual wood hut. I had to think of ways I could reinforce it and possible vulnerabilities of the terrain that I would need to watch out for. Building wasn't just for aesthetics, it was for survival. The trap system in Rebirth of the Night was also insanely fun to play with. There were tons of cool ways for me to mess with mobs and get the upper hand, like making spikes, recruiting guards, or door abusing them. By far my favorite part, however, was the caves. They were a perfect mix of modern cave generation and classic origin that made it super fun to run around and collect shit. The depth of each enemy also surprised me. There were zombies that can build, zombies that could dig and surprise you, spiders that could pick up other enemies. The combat, as I mentioned previously, is also really good. The ability to dual wield adds so much depth, as you could either go with a shield for a safe option or risk dual wielding for bonus damage. There are also set bonuses for certain materials that make certain armor more or less rewarding to use depending on your playstyle. It isn't just about stats. Overall, please play this mod, it's so fucking good. Actually, that's the end. Oh, okay, bye. Yeah, bye.